women have the right to make up their own minds about what they want to do with their bodies.
Yep.
Or when you're old, who's going to look after you? And like, I've got a pension.
Right?
The one that grinds my gears, right? It makes me want to punch people. It's when they say, oh, when you meet the right man, you'll change your mind. I am the right man. A man who wants kids is not the right fit for me.
Yeah. Comprehensive sexuality education.
Yeah, absolutely. Which they try to say is about teaching people how to be gay.
Listen.
Like some guy literally used that against me on a date, right? Like, as a feminist, don't you think it's your responsibility to raise the next generation of feminists?
There are so many feminists who have children. That's enough.
Girls are getting married off at a very young age and, expected to have children when they are 13, 14, sometimes even younger. When I was in my 20s, I was dating this Jamaican guy and he said he said he would get me pregnant. I disappeared from his life
That's a threat.
Yeah, I felt threatened. I always ask myself, if I gave birth to someone, do I have the mental capacity to raise a healthy human being? I don't think I do. Yeah, and so they're better off not being born. You have to give your kids the best chance at life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And putting the burden of them looking up to you. Sometimes, even whilst they're in university, some parents expect their kids, especially girls.
Yep.
So it opens them up for exploitation by these pot-bellied men we have in Ghana who behave like they have never ever had sex whenever they see a woman.
The pot-bellied for me.
Yeah.
Good girls never get the corner office. So do not be cheated like the African culture where you are told have decorum, dress nicely, be kind, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me and you'll get somewhere.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Black Women Mic podcast. It's still our very first season. We are talking about Black women reimagining womanhood on our own terms. We are trying to move away from the perceptions, the ideas, all of the ways that we have been conceived to be or are expected to be as Black women. We are shedding all of that and we are reimagining ourselves for ourselves. Today, we are talking about uterus politics and identity. Oftentimes, Black women, it's not even oftentimes, always, we are expected to aspire to be mothers, to aspire to have children. But what if we don't want to have children? What if we don't want our identity as women, especially as Black women, to be tied to motherhood? Today, I'm talking to the one and only, I like to hype up my guest, the one, the only, the baddest, the hottest. She calls herself African Prince Baddie. She's everything and everything and everything. Her name is Hetty Mercer, aka Scarlett. Hetty, welcome.
Thank you very much. I think you didn't give enough accolades,
Please add more. Yeah. Please add more. I trust you.
You forgot a lot, but it's fine. It's fine.
I was actually going to ask you to tell us who you are, because we have learned on this podcast that when you allow people to tell you who they are, to introduce themselves, it gives a sense of power. It's empowering. So who is Hetty?
Right. So I am a feminist and gender advocate by trade. I am a founder of a digital magazine for women by women.
What's the name of the magazine?
It's called Femme in Style Africa. I'm child-free by choice. I've always known since I was probably 10 years old I didn't want to have kids. So what else to say? I like high heels and champagne and fighting with people on Facebook, but I am not putting my address online for you to find me. You can't find me because, you will beat me.
I don't think anyone will beat you. You are a gym rat. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
If anything, you're probably going to be whooping people.
Probably, yeah. I deadlift 90 kgs, so don't try me.
That is almost twice my weight. Please do not. Thank you so much for coming, Hetty. And since Hetty has introduced herself, I feel obliged to also introduce myself. So my name is Abena Benewafosu. I am your host. Now, you've already kind of introduced us into the discussion by mentioning that you are child-free by choice and you've known for a long time that you didn't want to have children. What influenced that decision?
I don't think it was any one thing. I come from a big family. I am the youngest of my family. And I always grew up with other children. When I was growing up, my siblings were having kids. And so it was always like there were children about, and I always felt like this is not what I want, you know, but even if I didn't have the language for it then, but I remember like when I had my first ever boyfriend, this is probably like, I was maybe like 16 or so, maybe younger, you know.
Your mom is not watching us. She's not listening either.
And we used to talk about, you know, when you're in love and you're young, you talk about naming your kids and things like that. And it always felt like I was talking about someone else's life, you know, because I think by then I had settled with this idea that I don't like noise. I like the silence that not having kids affords you. That was what it was for me then, that it was too noisy all the time. Like my voice is naturally very loud because I always had to shout to be heard. So all of those things kind of made me feel like whenever I was alone, I felt so much at peace. So that is how I felt then. But obviously that feeling has evolved to involve other things. So it wasn't influenced by one particular thing. It was just a set of things, you know. It's also like when you grow old, you realize that you have a lot of childhood trauma that is unresolved. And I always ask myself, like, if I gave birth to someone, do I have the mental capacity to raise a healthy human being? I don't think I do. And so they're better off not being born. You
don't want to pass that on to another person. You is it okay if I mention your age? You are in your 40s now. People in the studio are shocked that you are in your 40s. She's so pretty, like black don't crack.
I'm 42, guys. 42. You should call me auntie. Thank you.
Rich auntie. Rich auntie.
Manifest the millions.
Hey. You know, has there been any point in your life where you have felt like, maybe I should have had children? No.
Not even a tiny bit. I keep being told that's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet.
Do you think it's going to happen ever?
I don't think so. But I think that a lot of the time people say, when people say, they bring in the context of, when you're old, who's going to look after you? And like, I've got a pension.
Right?
I've got a pension so that I don't have to use someone else as, you know, my pension plan. And if I'm lonely, I have great friends. You know, I have friends that I think I'm going to grow old with. They're my soulmates. So there's never going to be the need that having a child is going to sort of like bridge this gap of loneliness or fill some hole. I don't think that there's a hole that needs to be filled. You know,
let's unpack that for a bit. That is something that I often hear, that you don't want to have children. When you're old, who is going to take care of you? You're going to be vulnerable. How do you feel about people putting such responsibility on children who have not even been born yet?
I think context matters in this, right? I'm fortunate enough to live in a place where we have social security. So even if you didn't work a lot in your life, when you go on pension, when you're at your pension age, the government still supports you. It might not be a lot of money, but it will be enough for you to be able to afford the basic necessities and other things. Also, education is free, right? Up until you go to university, you get a student loan that you pay back. So those things make it easier for people to, let's say, self-actualize without their parents. It's different in Ghana. You cannot say that there's some women or men, children, parents who put their whole lives on hold to put their children through school. So that context matters.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially their investment, their pension is your education.
Yeah.
Right. So when we're talking about these things, we always have to remember that our realities are not the same as other people's. Right. I believe that the way society is set up here, the black tax can be debilitating. I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
It can drain people's finances, but there's a reason why it exists, right? Because parents tend to invest in their children because no one else will, right? So if your parents have worked hard their whole lives and they are at the age where they can't work anymore and you're in a position to look after them, then by all means you should. I think it becomes an issue when the whole family is reliant on one person or two people, you know, then it becomes almost exploitative.
Yeah.
Because parents, yes, I get it. But your siblings who decided not to do much with their lives, people who are not trying to do anything with their lives because my uncle is rich, you know, or my auntie is rich or my cousin is rich.
Yeah, my brother, my sister, they have to take care of me. Yeah.
So those nuances are important when we're discussing these topics,
I see how this nuance is very, very important for the older generations. For us younger generations who are more educated, but still hold this belief. How do we kind of circumvent that? How do we, because this is also tied to how people judge women who are child-free by choice. So it's also for them a very solid argument to make. How do we address these, people, your age, people my age, who still hold this belief that you have to have children because your children are kind of your pension plan?
It's quite funny actually, because like you said, the people are very educated, but some of these mindsets are so entrenched. But I think the way to address it is to sort of like try to get them to unlearn their old ways of thinking. And like, how have you felt being the one that is looking after your whole family? And why do you want that burden to fall on your child when you do give birth to them and they grow old? Yes, there will be instances where, because even if our mindsets have changed and we're well educated, the instances of how our society is set up hasn't changed much. So there will be some elements of that. But absolutely, we should also be educated enough to understand how to run our finances in a way that we'll be able to support ourselves without the need for our children to do that.
Exactly. I
so it is like I feel like it's an approach that it can't be just a one approach. It has to be different ways of looking at the topic and saying, well, okay, I get that you're still paying your children's school fees, you're not getting help anywhere, but at the same time, you're well educated, you earn more than your parents did. So even if you have 10 kids, you should be able to manage your finances in a way that you're having a pension pot that you can use to, support yourself. And also, like, you have to give your kids the best chance at life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And putting the burden of them looking up to you. Sometimes, even whilst they're in university, some parents expect their kids, especially girls.
Yep.
So it opens them up for exploitation by these pot-bellied men we have in Ghana who behave like they have never ever had sex whenever they see a woman.
Pot-bellied for me.
Yeah. Whenever they see young girls, they just go like, yeah. So it just, people have to think about what that is teaching their daughters, especially about responsibility, about how to get money and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, as someone who isn't opposed to having children, but is very, very, very opposed to pregnancy. Fortunately for me, I don't even have to worry about it because thanks to endometriosis, I had to have my uterus removed. But even for me, who isn't against motherhood, I get judged. You can't imagine the kind of things people have said to me. Like, I am selfish. I am trying to be like a man. What are some of the most ridiculous things that people have said to you, or, instances of people expecting you to conform to societal expectations of you as a woman? Because like I said earlier, the moment you are born with a vagina and a uterus, you are expected to want to be a mother and to actually be a mother. What are some of the things that have been said to you, or situations that you have been put in, and how have you navigated those?
I think like the most ridiculous thing I tend to hear is, oh, what if your mother didn't give birth to you? And I'm always like, well, I wouldn't be here, so I wouldn't care.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I respect my mom, and I respect her choices. So if she got pregnant with me and she decided I'm not going to have the baby, it's her choice. It's her body.
Yeah.
I respect that. I get that a lot. And I also get the whole, like, oh, who's going to look after you when you're old? And I think the one that grinds my gears, right, it makes me want to punch people, is when they say, oh, when you meet the right man, you'll change your mind. I am the right man.
Ew.
Because the idea that I'll make this life-changing decision based on some phantom man who might be the right fit for me. And like a man who wants kids is not the right fit for me.
Yeah.
So I would let's start there.
Exactly.
So that I think that is the one I hate the most. Others I can handle. Oh, like, you're selfish.
Yeah.
You don't want to contribute to society. As a feminist, it's your responsibility to bring up the next generation of feminists.
As a feminist.
I think that some guy literally used that against me on a date, right? Like, as a feminist, don't you think it's your responsibility to raise the next generation of feminists?
There are so many feminists who have children. That's enough.
I was like, yeah, that's why I have social media.
Yeah. Exactly.
But to think that I have to have kids too,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also like the threat sometimes of, again, men thinking that they have this power. So if they threaten you with if you don't want to have kids and I don't want to be with you, then you're going to change your mind. If I don't want to have kids and you don't want to be with me, you do me a favor.
Don't remind me of my nightmare. Don't threaten my life.
Or when I was in my 20s, I was dating this Jamaican guy, and he said he said he would get me pregnant. I disappeared from his life.
That's not a threat.
Yeah, I felt threatened. It's because he was up. He used to be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, and if we had a baby, then we'll be connected." No. He wanted to be connected for life.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And then we talk about having kids with me, and I'll be like,
those are not even people who want to marry you. They want to make you a baby mama, just so they are connected to you for life.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's just, I disappear from his life so quickly.
You were right too. You were right too, because that is crazy.
Yeah, but I think the way that I tend to navigate those conversations is, I'm so set in this decision that when people say things like that to me, I'm like, well, this is the choice that I have made, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
And everyone in my life has more or less accepted it. And, it's not about you, it's about me. Yeah. It's about the things that I need to make me happy. Yeah. And this is one of them. It has come up at work a couple of times. But that is easy to shut down. It's this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
I
was actually going to ask you about that, because earlier on, before we started the conversation, we were talking about how the world has been, set up for women with children. How has that impacted your life, and has it in any way, how have you dealt with that? I mean,
even if it's not consciously, there are many ways in which, having a child-free life is impacted by people with children. There isn't a lot of child-free spaces. Everywhere you go, there are people with kids are welcome. Kids are welcome. Where I live in England, there is one pub that has a no children policy, and they got dragged for having that. They got dragged. Newspapers were writing about them, and it's just one space.
Yeah.
And on that street, there's probably 5 or 6 pubs. And it's only that one that has a child-free policy.
That was a problem.
And that was a problem. Like when you're like, and I think that it's also important to clarify, because sometimes this gets misconstrued, that I do not hate children. I love children. The world is full of children. You can't expect that the children will disappear because you don't want to have children.
Yeah.
Right. But it's important to understand the ways in which it affects people that have kids, like even holidays. Right. I manage a team. There's 2 people on my team with children. So if I'm going on holiday around term time or midterms, I have to rethink that. Because I can't be off and like 2 people with children are off, then that's my team basically done.
Yeah.
So having to navigate that, like, you have to prioritize the people with kids because it's midterm or it's vacation and they want to go on holiday.
Yeah.
Like between August and July and August, when there's the long school break, right?
Yeah.
Child-free people are the ones that are left behind in the office, because people want to take their children on holiday.
That's when the enjoyment is happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's when people also take their kids on holiday. So you have to, navigate that. Like you literally get paid for having kids, right?
Yeah.
In certain countries. And if you're child-free, you don't get those benefits.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways that this impacts your life. And, being single is expensive anyway, because you're not doing 50-50 with anybody.
Listen, we keep saying that, being single is rather cheap because you're not paying for diapers and you're not. And I think that is true for maybe those of us living here. But if you live outside, for example, like you're saying, that you get paid for having children, you're sharing rent, it's like it's being single. Like if you go on vacation, you're paying for the room by yourself.
Yeah.
Whilst when you're with people, it's like you're sharing.
And when you go to dinner, you have to pay for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is the worst one.
We are not going to get into that. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah. But I think that like if you're child-free, you start to notice the ways in which the world being like built for families, because capitalism thrives on people having children.
Exactly.
So the world is designed to encourage that. Yeah. And so you're always kind of like left behind. Your needs are not taken into consideration in any policy or infrastructure. Yeah. Right. It's all like the family is a focus, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just something that you notice.
Yeah. Let's talk about this in light of bodily rights, especially considering the political climate we are in now. We are being forced to have children, basically. And it's not just systemic at the government level, because there are government policies ensuring or trying to ensure that women do have children. But there are also individuals like men. I mean, we always know that patriarchy has agents, and those sometimes are women, sometimes are mostly men, but also sometimes women. How do we put a lens on this from the view of this being a right issue as well? Because we talk about it as a cultural thing a lot of the time, that, as a woman, you're expected to have children, but, I don't have to go by cultural expectations or societal expectations. That's mostly how this conversation is had, at least at our level or in our societies. How do we address this issue from a bodily right perspective?
My body, my choice, right?
Yeah.
It's legislature that is being eroded in some parts of the world. And in some parts of the world, it's never existed. Like, women do not have a choice in the matter. Girls are getting married off at a very young age and, expected to have children when they are 13, 14, sometimes even younger. I think the way to address it is, the only thing we can do right now is continue to fight for those rights to exist, right? The reversal of Roe versus Wade in the US, Trump's Project 2025,
Insane.
But the thing is, on the flip side of that, there is the worry that non-white women are at risk of sterilization,
Yep.
right?
Yep. That's true.
Yeah. And that also kind of like feeds into a lot of Black American women's suspicion around birth control to begin with anyway, because it was designed as a way to sterilize Black women. So things are always so complicated. And there's never like a right or wrong way to address these issues, right? In UK, for instance, abortion rights are not as enshrined in law as we'd like to think, because there are people still being persecuted for having abortions, right? I think it was just a couple of months ago, in the news, there was a woman who went to court because she had an abortion and she was arrested for it. It became a big thing. I don't remember the exact circumstances surrounding the abortion, but she was arrested for abortion. So we think that, this country has given the woman the rights, but it's not truly enshrined, right? So activists are still fighting to make sure that this is like this is ironclad, that women can decide for themselves if they want to have kids, when they want to have kids, how many kids they want to have. So it's really sort of like making sure that policy around reproductive health is sound, is up to date. In Ghana, I don't know what our gender ministry is doing. I don't...
Listen, in Ghana, abortion is very much legal. And that's what a lot of people don't know, and they don't know because there has been a deliberate effort to not let people know.
Yeah, of course.
Abortion is legal. It's in the Criminal Act. And that's also another problem with it. Like something about abortion should not be in the criminal code.
It shouldn't be.
Or you're automatically making it look like a crime by putting it in the criminal code, but it is in the criminal code. And it talks about abortion being legal if the well-being of the mother is at stake. And Ghana, we have subscribed to the what is it called? I will remember, but like just global tenet of human rights, and we go by WHO's definition of well-being, and that includes physical, mental, emotional. And so when you look at the all reasons for which a woman would want abortion, whose definition covers that? So automatically you have a right to get an abortion, and people are permitted to do that. There are only some instances where you cannot, and that is it should be done by a qualified personnel, certified personnel in a certified facility. And so if you walk into any Ghana Health Service facility to ask for abortion, they should give you that. But because, we still as a society frown upon it, we are not educating people about it. And even the people who walk in, doctors use their own personal biases to say, no, I'm not providing this for you. Or midwives and nurses who are so judgmental, they will turn people away either directly or behave in a way that will make the person turn away. And so we are not understanding that the right to choose whether or not to be a mother is a fundamental human right. That's one of the things that really bothers me a lot. But let's on that, train, let's talk about how we move away from that. So how do we then create a society? And I think we already went on that tangent a bit. How do we create a society that respects women's bodily rights, that understands that the fact that I was born with a vagina and a uterus doesn't mean that I should automatically want to have children? How do we also just redirect the conversations we've been having about women choosing to be child-free and what benefits are allowed them, and what social currencies we put on them?
How we move away from that is really education, right? And like you said, we have certain rights in law, but people are not educated enough about it. And this mainly goes to our religiousness, right? And I'm using air quotes because religion, Papa me.
I scrumped.
I know if this S and you guys put this in, leave it in.
No, put it.
People
No,
will
we are
come for
leaving
me.
it in. People
Yeah.
are very hypocritical. They choose
Very.
us and when to be religious.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we are like the most religious people, but we are such a shitty people,
Yeah.
right? So I don't believe that we even understand religion. But education is important, you know. And some of these things, no matter how much activists work towards changing mindsets, it's a governmental issue.
Yeah.
It's a policy issue.
Yeah.
It's up to the government to ensure that both men and women in their countries have the same rights as much as possible, right? And women having the same rights, whether we'd like to admit it or not, always starts with reproductive health.
Yeah.
Because if you're able to manage your reproductive health, it gives you the opportunity to manage your life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If someone is in charge of when you should get pregnant, you're never going to achieve anything.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, there are men who get their girlfriends or wives pregnant as soon as they've been offered a PhD abroad with a full scholarship, just to, you know, set them back.
Yeah.
So it's up to government to educate people to understand that women have the right to make up their own minds about what they want to do with their bodies.
Yeah.
Right? And it's about enshrining a law that ensures that people that try to take those rights away are persecuted to the full length of the law.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, it's just a suggestion. We know how things work.
We do. We do.
We know how things work. But it's also giving women and girls the tools that they need
Absolutely.
to ensure that they are making the right choices for themselves. All right. So that doesn't just stop at education, because you can talk and talk and talk, but it's giving people practical skills, practical tools that they need, you know, like period apps or even fertility apps. Those are great for women and girls to understand their own bodies, right?
Comprehensive sexuality education.
Yeah, absolutely. Which you know, they try to say is about teaching people how to be gay.
Listen. We're in this country.
I am so shocked.
We're in this country when CSOs, together with the Ministry of Education, put together a solid, comprehensive sexuality education curriculum to be taught in schools, and for Amweni, our name and shame, for Amweni and his people, and what's his name now?
Is this Sam George?
Sam George, all of them went, you know, miseducating people about what this manual is telling people it's going to teach our children to be gay. And so this policy had to be trashed, and a new one, you know, a more watered down version put together. And that's what they are going to try to implement now. But, you know, time will not permit us to get into all of that. we are going to get into this at some point. Our studio manager has signaled us that we have to get the hell out of here.
Okay.
And so we are going to wrap up. His name is Kofi, and everything that happens that doesn't go well is his fault. He knows. He knows. But yeah, we are going to have to wrap up here. Thank you so much, Hetty. It's been really insightful. I'm not going to wrap up what we said, because your conclusion has just summarized everything. We have been talking about how womanhood does not equal motherhood, and that's just how I am going to end here. Thank you so much for listening to us. You've been listening or watching the Black Women Mic'd podcast. Today we've been talking about uterus politics and identity. We've spoken about how not every woman has to be a mother, and that is totally fine. It doesn't make them less of a woman. Our identities are not tied to our decision to reproduce. Do stick with us till we come your way again. In the meantime, engage with us on our social media platforms. It's Black Women Mic'd on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, just everywhere. Follow us, engage with us. Let us know what you think about this. My name is Abena Benewa. For Sue, I have been talking to Hetty Mercer, aka Scarlett. She is the founder of Femin Style Africa, which is a feminist magazine by women for women. Till we come again, it's bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.